Hi, I'm Gareth Green, and in this video we're going to consider this question: the difference between 3/4 and 6/8. Well, 3/4 and 6/8 are time signatures, and they're telling us about how many beats there are in a bar and what kind of beats they are. So let's just unpack the sort of fundamentals of that, and then we'll dig into this question in a deeper way. So here's a very basic definition. It's not entirely the full definition, but let's start with it. The basic definition is you've got two numbers in any time signature, and the upper number is telling you how many of something there are in the bar. All right, so there are 3 somethings in a bar in 3/4. There are 6 somethings in a bar in 6/8. Okay, that's easy enough, but it's not much use until we know what the something is. So the lower number tells us about the something, if you like. So if you can take it from me for now, without having to go into a full explanation on this one, that if you see 4 as the lower number, that means that the beats are crotchet beats, or quarter notes. If you don't like the term crotchet, understandably, you'll know it as a quarter note. So 3/4 is telling us that there are 3 somethings in a bar, and the 4 at the bottom is telling us that those somethings are quarter notes or crotchets. So we can say there are 3 crotchet note beats in a bar, or 3 quarter note beats in a bar. All right, when we look at 6, well, 8 at the bottom, 6/8. 8 at the bottom is talking about quavers. Okay, so quavers or eighth notes. So there are 6 eighth notes in the bar, or there are 6 quavers in a bar. Now, if I say there are 6 quaver beats in a bar, or 6 eighth note beats in a bar, that's not quite right, because 6/8 is something we call a compound time. So 3/4 is what we call a simple time, 6/8 is what we call a compound time. I don't want to get too bogged down in that for now, but we'll come back to that later on. But for now, let's have a look at what this actually means, because I'm sure a lot of people are already thinking, well, in that case, there's no difference between them, because if there are 3 crotchets in a bar, let's just note this down for a moment. If I've got 3 crotchets in a bar, or 3 quarter notes in a bar, okay, that obviously looks like that. Mathematically, that's exactly the same as this, isn't it? If I've got 6 quavers in a bar, or 6 eighth notes in a bar, well, what does that look like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, add up 6 halves, you get 3 wholes. So what's the difference? I mean, it must be the same thing, mustn't it? So if I'm a composer, it doesn't really matter if I write in 3/4 or I write in 6/8. But actually, it does. Now, this is what we want to dig into now. Because 3/4 is a simple time and 6/8 is a compound time, there's a difference in the way that we have to handle it. Now, for now, I hope you can just accept from me this. If you have 2, 3, or 4 as the upper number, okay, so 2, 3, or 4 as the upper number, that is what we call simple time. Okay? If you have 6, 9, or 12 as the upper number, we call this compound time. Okay, there are reasons for that, which I don't want to get bogged down in now, but for now, if you can just accept that that's the case, we're in business. Now, if you've got 2, 3, or 4 at the top, obviously we have here, we're in simple time, and it's called simple time because it's what it says on the tin. That says there are 3 crotchet beats in every bar of music. So I've got my first bar, 3 crotchets, I can draw a bar line and I can say that's the end of the first bar. All right, so 3 crotchet beats in the bar or 3 quarter note beats in a bar. And it's as simple as that. However, when I'm in compound time, I've got to take one more step. So this says 6/8, so 6 quavers in a bar, or 6/8 notes in a bar. So there they are, the 6/8 notes. And here's the end of my bar, my first measure, if you like. But every time you're in compound time, you take one more step. You organize things into groups of 3. I'll come back to what impact this has in a moment. So if I put those first 3 quavers or 8th notes together, and then I put the next 3 together, this shows how compound time actually works. Because what you then do is you total the value of each group of 3. So the first one is going to total this, and the second one is obviously going to total the same. So what this means in compound time, 6/8, 6 quavers, 6/8 notes in a bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, organize them into 2 groups of 3, then say, what's the total value of each group of 3? Bang, bang. So in 6/8, I've got 6 quavers or 6/8 notes in a bar, but I've got 2 dotted crotchet beats or 2 dotted quarter note beats. And this is why 6/8 starts to feel different from 3/4. Okay, so this is what we're just going to kind of just deal with and see if we can understand a bit more now. So even though mathematically 6/8 is the same as 3/4, musically it's different. Okay, let's think about how that actually works. So I'm in 3/4 and I'm going 1, 2, 3, and if I just carry on for a bit, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's a passage in 3/4. Now I can change the rhythm, so I don't have to go along in quarter notes or in crotchets forever. That would be a bit boring, wouldn't it? I can have any other rhythm inside the bar that fits with those 3 beats. So if in the next bar, for example, I wanted to write something like this, I'm going to have 2 quavers or 2 8th notes, and then maybe I'm going to have 4 16th notes, 4 semi-quavers, and then maybe I'll have another crotchet or quarter note to finish. Well, I've suddenly got a more complicated rhythm, haven't I? Because now I've got bum, 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 ba, 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 bum. But the beat is still the same, isn't it? I'm still going 1, 2, 3. So if I do this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I can change the rhythm, but everything's got to sit within those 3 crotchets, those 3 quarter note beats. And you see, even the way I write these notes, you can see that I've grouped them together or beamed them together, as we say, in those 3 beats. That's the first beat, that's the second beat, that's the third beat. And we organize it that way when we write it to help people to play it or to sing it, because they can see where those 3 beats come. But it's not going to work in 6/8 to think, well, it's just the same as 3/4, even though mathematically it's the same, because of this compound arrangement of grouping things in 3. So in 3/4 I was going 1, 2, 3, but in 6/8 I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm delivering those 6 quavers, those 6/8 notes in each bar, but I'm counting these 2 beats. Now it feels very different. Even though mathematically it's the same, actually it feels very different. I'll tell you something else as well, which you've probably already noticed. I can't spell difference, can I? Shall I just put that right? in the title. That'll be interesting to see how many people spot that before we get there. Okay. How about that? That looks better, doesn't it? Just noticed that. Okay, so you can see that and hear that there's a difference between 3/4 and 6/8, isn't there? Because in 3/4 I'm going 1, 2, 3. In 6/8 I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 1, 2. So in fact, even though they're mathematically the same, in 3/4 I've got 3 beats in a bar. In 6/8 I've got 2 beats in a bar. Now, it's actually important to know this because if you get this sort of not quite organized in your mind and you start trying to play a piece of music that's written in 6/8 as if it's in 3/4, well, you're going to have all the accentuation of notes wrong, aren't you? Because if this is in 6/8 but you play it in 3/4, you'll be thinking those 2 notes go together, those 2 notes go together, those 2 notes go together, and you'll be playing 1 and 2 and 3 and, well, that would be a rhythm in 3/4. But in 6/8, it's 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in order to feel the beats, you have to put a slight emphasis on number 1 and on number 4 in relation to those quavers or those 8th notes. So I hope that's a useful explanation of the difference between 3/4 and 6/8. Very important to kind of just know how that works and to know a little bit about simple time and compound time, and then just to sort of see what the difference is and to get a feel for how it's different musically. So when we write or when we perform, we can make that distinction with confidence. And if you want to know a bit more about all this stuff, we cover this in really good detail in our theory courses at Music Matters. So if you want to go to www.mmcourses.co.uk, click on courses and then search for our theory courses, you'll find all this and a heap more is covered in our A to Z theory journey. Hours and hours of videos explaining all the nuts and bolts of this kind of stuff and much more besides. Or you may want to come and join us at Music Matters Maestros, and you can support our channel and you can go a step further and join up at a level that enables you to enjoy lots of perks like discounts on our courses and the ability to attend our monthly live streams where we're talking about music in more detail, looking at the music of composers, having a live chat running as well where people can ask questions and so on. Nice interactive community, lots of lovely like-minded musicians, and also for composers, arrangers, people wanting to submit harmony exercises, performers wanting to submit a recording of their work. I'm offering you individual feedback on any of that, and as a group we collectively learn from each other, and it's a wonderful experience if you want to come and join us for that.